Custom list building tools, platforms to try. Outbound wins or loses on list quality. Most teams don't have an outbound problem, they have a list problem. You can buy the best sequencing tool, hire strong cold callers, and partner with a cold email agency. But if your underlying data is stale, your program will look broken, no matter how good the messaging is. The challenge is that most prospecting starts from a cracked foundation. Roughly 70% of CRM data is outdated, incomplete, or inaccurate. When that's true, outbound becomes a coin flip, and it's why SDRs quietly revert to manual LinkedIn research instead of trusting the list you handed them. In our experience at SalesHive, custom list building tools are the backbone of predictable pipeline, not because they create bigger lists, but because they create lists your team can confidently work. When your data is clean, your cold calling services, email sequences, and LinkedIn outreach services all compound instead of fighting each other. The real cost of dirty data in B2B outbound. Bad data doesn't just cause a few bounces, it consumes selling capacity. Research estimates sales reps lose about 500 hours per year dealing with inaccurate prospect data. And Salesforce reports reps spend only 34% of their week actually selling, with the rest going to admin, research, and data work that should be automated. There's also a direct revenue penalty. Studies estimate poor data quality costs companies at least 10 to 20% of annual revenue through missed opportunities and inefficient campaigns, which is why free manual research is often the most expensive path you can take. Deliverability makes the downside even sharper. If the average B2B cold email bounce rate is around 7.5%, you're already starting from a risky baseline. Sending unverified lists can push you into reputation damage quickly, especially when your SDR agency or outsourced sales team is trying to scale volume. A practical framework for building custom prospect lists. A high-performing list starts with a tight ICP that you can explain in one sentence. We recommend defining firmographics, industry, size, geo, personas, functions, seniority, and why now signals, growth, hiring, funding, tech stack changes, so you're not paying for data you'll never use. Next, assume no single provider is complete. Even large databases like Apollo, marketed at 210 million plus contacts, and Zoom Info, often cited at 260 million plus profiles, can have gaps by region, vertical, or role, so we treat list building as a hub and spoke system. One core database plus 1 to 2 enrichment sources and targeted human research for your highest value accounts. Finally, define done as campaign ready, not exported. A list is only finished when it's enriched, complete fields, verified, email and phone, deduped, mapped to your CRM schema, and assigned to an outbound motion, whether that's B2B cold calling services, a cold email sequence, or a combined cadence. Choosing the right tool stack for the job. Think in platform types, not brand names. You typically need 1. A core database for scale, Apollo, Zoom Info, Cognism, Sales Intel. 2. A precision targeting layer. LinkedIn Sales Navigator is the classic option for role accuracy and buying committee mapping. And 3. An enrichment orchestration layer, Clay and similar tools, to fill gaps and standardize records before they hit your CRM. Verification is non-negotiable. A healthy bounce rate benchmark is roughly 2 to 2.5%, which usually requires dedicated email verification and ongoing hygiene. If you're sending closer to 7.5% bounces, you should pause that source, re-verify, and fix the process before scaling volume. When deciding what to try, ask a simple question. What outcome does this tool improve? Some platforms are great at coverage, others at filters, others at context for personalization. Because the B2B data marketplace is projected to grow at 24.6% CAGR, more tools will keep appearing. Your advantage comes from a stack that's designed around your workflow, not the latest vendor pitch. In Outbound, the list isn't the starting point, it's the strategy. Building a repeatable workflow your SDRs actually use. The best workflows are built for speed and trust. Sales and marketing should agree on ICP, required fields, and quality thresholds. Then operationalize them as a checklist that every new list must pass before it's pushed into sequences. Otherwise, SDRs will create rogue spreadsheets and you'll lose attribution and consistency. A reliable cadence looks like this in practice. Source accounts and contacts. Enrich missing firmographics and technographics. Verify emails and phone numbers. Then sync clean records into your CRM with correct ownership and dedupe rules. When you do it this way, your outbound sales agency motion becomes repeatable. Reps spend their time talking to prospects instead of cleaning data. At SalesHive, we apply this approach through our B2B list building services by aggregating multiple premium sources instead of forcing a single contract, then layering in human research and real-time validation so lists arrive campaign-ready. This is especially important for call-heavy teams, where verified direct dials materially change the ROI of a cold-calling team. Common list-building mistakes and how to avoid them. The most common mistake is buying massive, static lists and blasting them for months. Static lists decay quickly, so the longer you run them, the more your bounce rate climbs, the more your domains get strained, and the more your results look random even when your offer is strong. The second mistake is relying on a single provider for everything. Provider accuracy varies, and every dataset has blind spots. If you want reliable coverage of your TAM, combine your core database with enrichment APIs and targeted research, so your highest value accounts aren't missing mobiles, direct dials, or current titles. The third mistake is skipping dedicated verification. If you're not enforcing verification and pausing sources that push you above 5% bounces, you're gambling with deliverability. That risk is amplified when you scale telemarketing, telesales, or high-volume cold email across multiple inboxes. Measuring list performance and protecting deliverability. Treat list quality as a measurable input, not a background task. We recommend tracking bounce rate, connect rate, reply rate, and meetings booked at the list source level, because a good sequence can hide a bad list until your sender reputation or dialer performance collapses. Use clear thresholds that trigger action, not debate. The goal is to stay near the 2 to 2.5% bounce benchmark, and to treat 7.5% as a warning sign that your verification or sourcing is failing and needs immediate correction. This measurement discipline is what separates a one-off campaign from a durable pay-per-meeting lead generation engine. When you know which sources and segments perform, you can scale confidently, allocate research time intelligently, and avoid burning budget on noisy data. Next steps: building in-house versus sales outsourcing. If you have strong ops support and mature outbound, building your own stack can work, but you'll still need multiple tools, a verification layer, and ongoing governance to keep data from decaying. The hidden cost is bandwidth. When reps are only selling 34% of the week, every extra hour of manual research is expensive. If you're lean, scaling fast, or tired of managing vendors, outsourcing list building is often the quickest path to consistency. A B2B sales agency or sales development agency can bring proven processes, human verification, and system integrations so your team can focus on conversations, not spreadsheets, especially if you plan to hire SDRs or expand an outsourced sales team quickly. The best approach is to start small and prove reliability. Run a pilot list, measure bounces and connects, iterate on ICP filters, then scale the winning sources. Whether you DIY or partner with SalesHive, the goal is the same: campaign-ready data that makes your cold call services, email outreach, and broader outbound sales agency motion predictable.